Welcome to Triumph IAS. It's a daily mains practice question and answer series. This program is exclusively designed for UPSC CSE aspirants. In this video discussion, we will discuss UPSC CSE mains previous 25-year questions. Question number 1. Why are the world's fold mountain systems located along the margins of continents? Bring out the association between the global distribution of fold mountains and the earthquakes and volcanoes. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Fold mountains are formed from the folding of crust and upliftment of the sediments accumulated by rivers along the margins of the continents by the collision of two continental plates or a continental plate and an oceanic plate. The main body of the answer should be number 1. Fold mountains are usually formed from sedimentary rocks and are usually found along the edges of continents. This is because the thickest deposits of sedimentary rock generally accumulate along the edges of continents. Number 2. While Himalayas are example of fold mountains formed by convergence of two continental plates, Andes and Appalachians mountains are examples of fold mountains formed by convergence of a continental plate and an oceanic plate. Number 3. Most known volcanic activity and the earthquake occur along converging plate margin and mid-oceanic ridges. Since the fold mountain and volcanoes are mostly located near boundaries of tectonic plate, there are numerous collisions, slippage or moving away from each other giving rise to fold mountains and rift valleys, etc. Number 4. The boundaries of the tectonic plates are the sites of all the tectonic disturbances. The edges of the continents bear numerous collision of plates, sliding and moving away of plates and upliftment of plates. Therefore, this is one of the most unstable region witnessing frequent earthquakes. Number 5. Also, the movement of tectonic plates forms rift zones exposing the asthenosphere giving way to volcanoes. The subduction of denser plate under lighter plate causes magma to come out from the uplying continental plate in the form of lava, causing the formation of volcanoes at some distance from continental margins. Volcanic eruptions are mostly sudden and are accompanied by earthquakes. Number 6. For example, the Pacific Ring of Fire is a continuous series of oceanic trenches, volcanic arcs and belts. Conclusion of the answer is: the region is associated with intense plate movements and frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruption. Therefore, most of the active volcanoes are found along the Pacific Ring of Fire. Question number 2. Though citizens' charters have been formulated by many public service delivery organizations, there is no corresponding improvement in the level of citizens' satisfaction and quality of services being provided. Analyze. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Introduction and implementation of the concept of citizens' charter in the Government of India was much more difficult due to the old bureaucratic set-up procedures and the rigid attitudes of the workforce. The main body of the answer should be: the major obstacles encountered in this initiative were: number 1. The general perception of organizations which formulated citizens' charters was that the exercise was to be carried out because there was a direction from the top. The consultation process was minimal or largely absent. It thus became one of the routine activities of the organization and had no focus. Number 2. For any charter to succeed, the employees responsible for its implementation should have proper training and orientation, as commitments of the charter cannot be expected to be delivered by a workforce that is unaware of the spirit and content of the charter. However, in many cases, the concerned staff were not adequately trained and sensitized. Number 3. Sometimes, transfers and reshuffles of concerned officers at the crucial stages of formulation implementation of a citizens' charter in an organization severely undermined the strategic processes which were put in place and hampered the progress of the initiative. Number 4. Awareness campaigns to educate clients about the charter were not conducted systematically. Number 5. In some cases, the standards time norms of services mentioned in Citizens' Charter were either too lax or too tight and were, therefore, unrealistic and created an unfavorable impression on the clients of the Charter. Number 6. The concept behind the Citizens' Charter was not properly understood. Information brochures, publicity materials, pamphlets produced earlier by the organizations were mistaken for citizens' charters. Question number 3. How illegal trans-border migration does pose a threat to India's security? Discuss the strategies to curb this, bring out the factors which give impetus to such migration. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Illegal migration, also known as irregular migration and undocumented migration, refers to the migration that occurs circumventing the regulations governing migration or without the knowledge of the authorities concerned. India is a large country having its border with many countries. People in the subcontinent have a common history and share many similarities in physical looks. The main body of the answer should be number 1. Due to variety of reasons including political and economic turmoil in neighboring countries and people from such countries often enter India. Number 2. There are cultural and ethnic similarities. On many occasions such migration goes unnoticed and they settle in the India territory. Number 3. These illegal immigrants not only infringe on the rights of Indian citizens but some also pose grave security challenges. The rise of terrorism in last few decades has become a serious concern for most nations. Number 4. Illegal migrants are more vulnerable for getting recruited by terrorist organizations. Infiltration from Rakhine state of Myanmar into Indian territory, especially in the recent years, besides being burden on the limited resources of the country, also aggravates the security challenges posed to the country. Strategies to curb illegal transborder migration. Number 1. The powers to identify and deport the foreign nationals staying illegally in the country have also been delegated to the state government's union territory administrations. Number 2. Various legal provisions are: the police authorities can exercise the power to arrest a foreign national living illegally in India in terms of Section 4 of Passport, Entry into India, Act, 1920. Number 3. Any foreign national who remains in any area in India for a period exceeding the period for which the visa was issued to him/her can be proceeded against under Section 14 of the Foreigners Act, 1946. Number 4. A foreigner who enters into or stays in any area in India without valid documents required for such entry or for such stay, as the case may be, can be proceeded against under Section 14A, B, of the Foreigners Act, 194. Number 5. Detection and deportation of such illegal immigrants from Rakhine state, also known as Rohingyas, is a continuous process. Therefore, it is essential to identify such illegal migrants' persons and also keep a watch on their activities for preventing any untoward incident that can take place. Number 6. India should also discourage illegal migrants through bilateral agreements or through exclusive illegal migration law. Number 7. On case-to-case basis, a temporary work permit can be issued so that the migrants can come and work then go back to their country. Conclusion of the answer is: to go one step further, India can also help in the socio-economic development of the border region of the friendly neighboring countries through bilateral agreements which will avert the illegal migrants to cross the border to earn a livelihood.